Welcome to Biggest Geekest. We're your hosts. I'm Randy.
I'm Joe.
Episode 123 of our show. The date is Tuesday, January 2023. I have not fixed that. I've done that the last couple of years.
Oh, look at you with your twos. You just like twos.
I was even in last week. So, yeah. What's up, Darth? We've got a good people in the house. Green Apple, Flady, Patrick Martinson. The gang's all here. Aaron Dragon, my favorite dragon. Until Indigo Dragon shows up. Then they're both my favorite. What's up, Hungry Ewok?
Sometimes it's hard to have a favorite when there's lots of choices.
Dragons are so cool, man. It's hard to pick them out. So somebody's got a birthday, guys. Our boy Joseph has turned 29. Can you believe it? He doesn't look that old, does he? No. You're going to hate Fat Gamer? What's up, man? You going to share the year? I won't give it away. I know what it is because we're the same, more or less.
Yeah, 56.
56, baby. Yeah.
I got some cool birthday presents from my wife today. This is one of them. Because why not? For those who can't see, my wife bought me a t-shirt that says, "Of course I'm right. I'm Joe." and I'm Joe in big letters.
That's really right. Good. Because I'm Joe. That's cool.
And it's cool. Someone that we've been getting into their videos here recently, the Dungeon Delver. Mm-hmm. His birthday was yesterday.
Sweet.
And he live streamed on his birthday as well. So
how old is that cracker? Do you know? Did he say?
I didn't watch his live stream. So
Green Apple
person.
Yep. Green Apple had a recent birthday too. Happy belated. Mine will be coming up soon too. I'm not too far behind Joe. I'll be 56 soon.
Yeah, he looks to be in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, I think so too. I got some of his old ones, man. He was a young looking cat several years back. First I was like, is that him? Got that sweet gray mane now.
Mm-hmm. She also got a Star Wars themed dog dad shirt.
Nice. Can't go wrong with that stuff.
And let's see, what's this one? Oh yeah, there's a bird on it because we have birds now.
A bird. I know who
I know who I'd poop on.
Yeah,
if I was a bird. She also got me some cool figures.
Oh, some of those painted, the ones you got to paint.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me she get them third party though? Tell me she did.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure she got these from. I wouldn't doubt it if she got these from One Bid.
Nice, good girl. Well done.
Yeah. It was. We were there looking at their stuff, and they had a big Pathfinder box there, but it was their card game, and I really wasn't interested in their card game. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what set it was. It was one of their card. It was it might have been like it was a really big box. Looked like like Arkham Horror size box,
right? And
lots of cards in it. And I was like, oh, maybe they got some figures in here. No, nothing interesting. Couple of die.
Yeah.
So I passed on that. Hey, T-shirted and Patty's Parlor, welcome.
Duncan Bradley. Hey, Duncan. Can I spill the beans, bro? Can I let him know? He got some news today, too. I won't share it till he says okay.
Is he pregnant?
Yes, he's going to have a baby.
You never know these days. Men can have babies, too, apparently.
That's kind of the rule, I think. I don't want to steal his thunder, so if he doesn't want me to do it, I won't, but I'm excited for him. It's pretty cool. So, anyway.
I didn't know you have a relationship with Duncan Bradley.
A very special relationship. He is engaged. Duncan is
with you. You're already married.
I know, but I thought it was worth it to go old school kind of. What's it called? Not monogamy, but go polygamy. No, he is engaged to his recent lovely girlfriend, and I don't know when they get married, but
congratulations, good deal,
dude. And I'll share he wore a Raiders t-shirt underneath his shirt for good luck, and it paid off. You wouldn't think so, as crappy as the Raiders have been, but
yeah, maybe
that's why I respect him, because he sticks with the Raiders like I do, even though they suck beyond imagining.
They had like 2 good years, maybe.
No, they used to be dominant in the 70s and 80s, but they had a good year in 2000 with Rich Gannon. But yeah, Duncan Bradley, you are welcome, sir. Congratulations. He's going to be getting married pretty soon. Yeah. So is this what is that board game you talked about, Joe?
Well, I'm just saying the size box that the card game came in. Yeah, after taking 2 hours to set up Arkham Horror for the first time and trying to walk through a couple of rounds, took me another 3 hours, and he gave up. That's Darth. Yeah, yes, Darth Theek. It's some of those really complicated board games can be a challenge. There was someone, I don't know what show it was. They were talking about a board game you needed to have a good 12 hours of your life to give to it. Well, I think it was 12 or 24, something like that.
What's up, long shot? Welcome. I guess if you could pull it like old school, what was the game that was big that people would just do? Like they used to play chess, long range.
Long range?
Long range. I mean, people would play chess
remotely. Okay.
Long range, dude.
Yeah. Well, just like our role playing, it probably got inspired. I'm pretty sure people used to do chess by mail too. They'd have a board set up and they'd mail in their moves or something like that.
Welcome to Gaming with ADHD. I'm not sure we've had you before, but if we have and we didn't name, sorry we forgot, but welcome. We're glad you're here. He wants to know if it's 2nd or 3rd edition Arkham. It might make a difference. I don't really know. So I played once. I think I told the story. Joe was there. Well, you played that one. We took like 8 people. That was the craziest. Oh my God.
I think we only went around the room once or twice. And we were like, dude, this is taking a long time.
This is too long. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how's your week been, man?
Well, I am off work this week.
Oh, the whole week?
The whole week.
How are you pulling that crap off?
Well, a couple of reasons. One of them is I'm old and tired.
Fair enough.
And it's my birthday, and I wanted to help my wife out with some stuff here at the house.
There you
go. But she's very ill, and I had my teeth out today, so today was pretty much almost completely lost. We did a couple of things early before I had my appointment, but
not all your teeth.
Just 2.
Just 2. Had them yanked.
I had 2 out and a filling in another one. So my wife was like, are you sure you're going to be able to podcast tonight? And I'm like, I think so. It's just, just a couple of teeth out of my head.
I tell you, when Joe told me that, I was like, if you want to hand over the keys to the kingdom, I'd be happy to run it. He was like, are you crazy? He knew he could not let me loose. No way. That was trouble.
Power tends to corrupt.
It does. And I'm easily corrupted. The hearts of men and the hearts of Randy. So I've not gamed. I want to game. Now that I know you're off, I feel like we should game again, but I can't. I've got some commitments on work and things to do and help a couple friends out. I would really love to game Saturday. I'd love to get that Rifts thing going, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I did game last Saturday. I got into a game with a couple of our friends. We're experimenting with something. I'm using what I have kind of a meta thing to run multiple of to where we could run different games but still have an umbrella campaign that covers them all. Once we play it a little more and I get it figured out, I might share it. I'm actually considering trying to write it up and as a meta setting that you could use, but we'll see. A lot of my friends know I've been talking about I'll just say it's kind of a quantum leap type thing, but not quite. So we played, that was fun. Played the 5e D&D. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Let's just say the guy that ran the game, we were like way too low number of people. The first encounter we ran from. So 5e can definitely be deadly as long as you make it unfair. He wasn't doing it on purpose. It was actually a module. We just tried to wing it. Yeah.
No, even a module? I would expect a module would be the worst example of the game.
It said 4 to 6 people, and we only brought 3. So for that. Gaming with ADHD says, thanks for the welcome. Found you through Legion of Myth. Good.
All right.
Legion of Myth. Good peoples.
We like Max. We kind of like Heathen Dog.
Yeah, sometimes. He's fine.
He's fine,
dude. He's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
It is a good show. They have a nice yin and yang sort of thing going on. CBK.
I think they overlap a lot.
Oh, do you?
They just have, well, they definitely overlap in that they both can have their propensity to get angry at the camera, but it's for different things. So
yeah. Is it yin and yang? Yin and yang? Well, how is it pronounced?
Yin. It's yin and yang. Yin and yang.
And YIN.
I'm pretty sure
they do. You're right. There's a part of them, so they're not really a balanced thing, but they kind of got Max goes over here, and then Heathen Dog goes up there on a different idea. You and I are mostly, I think, in sync, and we have some differences, but I would say we're more of a kind of a parallel thing, and theirs is sort of parallel, but sometimes they pull. And what's funny is I noticed that a lot of times when one of them pulls really hard against something, the other one's not pulling against him. He's just kind of like, whatever. At least when I've seen it. So when Max gets all worked up, a lot of times Heathen Dog's like, it's not so great. And if Heathen Dog gets all worked up, sometimes Max is like, I never really cared about that. That's kind of funny.
I think a lot of times they can serve to, you kind of rein in the other one's kind of slow the roll a little bit so they don't get too far off the rails.
Mr. Boivins, I got a bone to pick with you, dude. I'm glad I'm in the US and you're in Canada when I say this. No, I don't. I watched his most recent video, and I find it interesting. I don't know if you've watched it. He says he doesn't like men who play females in games, but he's okay if a female plays a male in game. I actually agree with that. I find that to be more palatable. If women do a better job of playing men than men do a good job of playing women. I mean, he had his own reasons. I can't say that I say no. Malachi's in the house. All right.
Thank you, everybody, for your happy birthday wishes. I appreciate that.
He's upset that it actually snowed this year. Why? We need more snow. We might get more tonight, dude. Never know. But
they're calling for it here. Even my cable provider is like, okay, we're getting ready for this thing, whatever it's going to be, and we're prepared to keep your stuff going, stuff like that, whatever.
We'll see. I think because it's looking like ice. I think that's the problem.
Oh,
and that
won't be any good.
That might suck tomorrow, dude. That might be a problem. But anyway, Mr. Max talked about that pretty at length, and I think he had a lot of good points. We have a couple of guys that like to play female characters sometimes. The one that does more consistently, I think, does a fine job, but he also tends to fall into he doesn't really play her as anything more than slightly feminine, and then doesn't really worry about that, which is fine. I mean, we don't really want him role playing any kind of female stuff, and he's a girl and stuff. But
I think his main thing is that it keeps the party basically men.
Yes,
and which makes sense. And I looked at a couple of comments on his on that video, and they're like, "This is a fantasy world," blah blah blah. That's as bad an excuse as, why does that work? It's magic.
Yeah,
I mean, our gaming worlds have lots of parallels, physical laws, gravity and whatnot. The way men and women are. If you just change that and say, well, women can be as good at all the dangerous jobs as men, it throws everything out the window.
Well, and then the next step is elves are the same as dwarves, really, and you get 5e. So I mean,
well, if if men and women were both as capable, or they had all the same, it doesn't make sense that they would.
No.
For one, because then there wouldn't be men and women. There would just be people.
I guess I'm just not as willing as Mr. Boivin is to tell people, no, you can't do that. If the rules allow it, you can play an 18-100 strength.
Yeah.
Even though the old editions of the game controlled that a little bit. And I'm sure it'd make everybody sad that thought it was unfair that a woman can't be as strong as a man because, well, they can't.
They can't.
I've seen some, it's just on strength. I've seen some impressive women at the gym that are much better shape than me. Maybe they could kick my butt. Maybe. But they can't outbench me. I've not seen one yet. And there's some athletic women. And I watch them. And I see what they lift. And I'm like, that's impressive for their size. They'll impress the crap out of me. But come on, dude. I mean, there are some that can do it, but they're pretty rare. Yeah, and I think Mr. Boivin likes he says it right there. I'll read his quote. Yeah, fantasy needs to be somewhat grounded in reality. Players have to have some reference points or it just becomes silly. Yeah, and he even has a one where I didn't watch your video yet where you explain you don't like high magic, but
I don't think he said that.
Oh, I thought there was one where he said he didn't like high magic.
High magic doesn't make sense for a high magic world to stay in a medieval frame, right? Fantasy medieval. If it's high fantasy, medieval doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it really doesn't. That's why D&D is kind of wonky.
Yeah.
Even early on in the early days, even TSR D&D was not medieval fantasy. No. Yeah, I agree. Mr. Boivin, he says, main thing is emboldening people to say no if they don't want to do it. Yeah, I agree. If they don't want to do something in the game, you should say no. And I don't disagree, Green Apple. Strong women can be cool. They can be. Absolutely. Wonder Woman's cool.
Yeah. I just think the other thing you can do is just say that the women that are in the party are the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
But then what if everybody at the table decides to play a woman? So,
it's not. But to be fair, it's not uncommon at a D&D game that you have a party of misfits.
Yeah.
If you go to 3rd edition, dude, or 5th edition, for sure. We got a Goliath barbarian. We got a half Dampier Scion. We got the party.
But here's the other thing. Max at his table, his rules, what makes sense to him. He's going to find a bunch of players that'll be cool with that, and that's great.
Yeah.
He's not telling everybody else to do that.
You should watch his channel, by the way. It's good. He has a lot of good content. He's really,
and if he is, he shouldn't.
What?
But he's not telling everybody else to play his way. He's telling everybody how he plays and explaining the whys as just giving a different perspective, which is good. It's a good thing.
Well, like I said, I agree with what he has, and maybe I just need more backbone to say no more. Honestly, the older I get, I'm pretty good. No, Martinson, it does not work. He says, okay, Randy, going forward, I'm saying no to dying from now on. I get that you are, but you're confused. The player gets 0 say so.
Yeah, see, you're going to say no, but that's not going to stop your character from having 0 hit points.
It's not going to stop it. Yeah.
And Cal asks who, and we're talking about reactionary principle gaming with Mr. Max Boivin.
Yeah.
And that's the name of his YouTube channel that he just started up. His new one. He has some training. He said he has a training video, a training channel, weight training channel under a different name.
I cannot believe Iron Man does this. He has a setting where the character can only be human.
That's cool.
I'm so offended. Or not. When does your game start? That's cool. But anyway.
Lumber Chad. Yeah, I think that's it. That's right.
Yeah. I thought it was Thor. I thought it was the French Canadian Thor.
Yeah, same difference. But Violet says the most important lesson anyone can learn in life is saying no and sticking to it. Yeah.
True. Yeah. I agree. No makes players be more creative.
Malachi asks, what if I X card going to 0 hit points?
Then you'll
you can indeed pull up an X card.
You can.
What will happen is your character will still go to 0 hit points, and then everybody else will laugh at your X card, at least at my table and Randy's table.
And every other character you make after that for a month will start at 0 hit points.
Yeah. You have to figure out how to get them going after that. I don't know. No, don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't mind a fantasy world, and I'm with Mr. Max here. I like them. I like when the characters at the table are mostly human, but only I like it because it feels right in my envisioning of the world. And the RPG that me and some pals are working on, I think it's going to be that, Joe. It's going to be purely humans initially, and we're going to really wait a long time to wait for non-humans. They show up. So, T-shirt it says, I've not read My World Without Numbers. I'm ashamed of it. He says he likes how Worlds Without Numbers handles non-humans. It costs them a focus to take a non-human. Otherwise, they're equal in every other way to humans. Interesting.
I'm not familiar with the Worlds Without Number system.
Kevin Crawford.
If it costs them a focus, that means they have to I guess a focus is a thing that your characters can have. Mm-hmm. So they have one less than a human, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cal says he likes being in the 25%. Cal has to be a rebel, man.
Has to be a rebel.
His nature. That's what I like about him, though. An alien, dude. All right. So this first segment, we're going to jump into the only thing that we can talk about. The OGL. Part of me doesn't like it when someone says, I'm so tired, and when they act superior to that. This is a significant thing in the hobby. Whether you think I'm not bothered by it, just do your own thing, which I think is good advice. I can understand. I mean, it bothers me a lot. And then I think about it, Randy, you haven't bought a 5e product in how long now? You don't even.
Probably been a while.
You're not going to play it. You can't stand. You have yourself on a embargo with WoTC. I mean, you're not buying that stuff anyway. But Dungeon Craft, Professor Dungeon Master, he makes an interesting point how important this could be. Though I lean more toward just letting it go because I think WoTC's going to do what they're going to do.
Yep. Every character gets 2 foci. That's how you pronounce that, correct? FOCI. More than 1 focus, foci. To be a non-human, you have to spend 1 to get it. And most non-humans have 2 levels of focus, so it will cost you 2 foci, where a human will have those open for other things. Yeah.
You can pronounce it both ways. I do that in my math class. It is
foci.
Foci. Yep, it is correct.
I will say no, it's not.
And okay, it's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Welcome, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I agree, Randy, with the OGL. It's important in that there are many people who have products under the old OGL whose livelihoods could be threatened by the new OGL.
Right.
And while there are many of us who don't have products under any license, or any products out there at all, it's easy for us to scoff at their fear.
Right.
And
I'm not doing that. I'm not scoffing at it. No.
But we need to encourage people and empower them to work a little bit past that fear if they can. Dungeon Delver has a fairly recent video out. I'll have the link in the show notes where he's talking about that. And he has some real fear. He's a writer. I believe he has products out that have the OGL. People are worried that they won't be able to do D&D streams, podcasts, or things other than game products that they'll have to be worried about being harassed by the legal team over at Wizards of the Coast, or Weasels of the Coast, as I like to call them.
Go ahead.
So there is some real fear out there, and then there are people who will, like Randy said, they'll just say, "I'm above this."
Right. L says the OGL isn't just 5e; it includes orphaned OGC. I feel like I should know those initials.
Open game content.
That is non-D&D. Okay, yeah, I get it, dude, and I feel for those people, and I think it sucks. But I don't know. And even T-shirts. What was his last video? You were on the video with him and some of his friends Saturday, I guess. And he started out just talking about how he was so tired, it was wearing him out. And I get it. I mean, it is after a while, it's wearing you out. But I think a lot, maybe with Professor Dungeon Master, several folks have said it. I don't know. D&D shorts, they're hoping we'll get tired of it. And part of me wants to keep it going just because of that idea right there.
Right. T-shirt historian says, interestingly enough, I just watched Questing Beast in his video on non-5e games you can play if you want to get away from 5e. Rolls Without Number was the very first one on his list. So yay, Crawford. Yes. I have a version of those rules. I just haven't looked at them in a while. Yeah, I think that in the Mr. Max Boivin says he thinks that the WoTC will win the OGL battle, but we as in the community at large will win the war. I think they could win, and at the same time, I think he's saying is shoot themselves in the foot.
I'm hoping for that. I agree with the sentiment. I'm not sure, Mr. Boivin. I feel like they'll do what they have done with every new edition. They'll capture an audience, and they may capture a very young audience. Total Party Skills said this. They may just say, screw you guys. You're too old anyway. They kind of said that during 4th edition anyway. They didn't want anybody that was pre-3rd edition guys for sure. They didn't really care about them. If they get the young people, now what might happen is their game, if it's successful, may just be a really weird form of WoW. But I'm hoping that the kids are like, this sucks butt. It's not even as good as EverQuest. And they bail and they come and learn what real role-playing games are. Because I agree. I think 6e is going to be a colossal piece of garbage.
Yeah. And Bruce brings up the point of the orc license.
Yeah.
That Paizo is running with 1,500 publishers signed on, probably more by now since that announcement was made. So that might become some sort of challenger. Who knows? But I think, as some others have said as well, this is only going to be good as far as the fracturing of the hobby.
That's all it can do.
Will, by its very nature, create competition. So as long as people step up, and I think there already are. All the buzz I've heard online and read online, it seems like lots of people are wanting to step up into the gap and say, okay, enough with this, taking the OGL out of my stuff. I'm going to make my own rules, blah, 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 blah. And they're willing to do that, which is good. Competition will breed excellence. It may not breed excellence out of Wizards of the Coast because they don't know how to respond to good incentives.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, I think so. I think Errant Dragon's one. I think every WoTC edition has been a middle. Maybe I'm not sure 5e was. I felt like 5e was trying to bring people together a little bit. That was their claim. I'm not sure they accomplished it, but I thought they kind of were initially. They were acting like 5e could be played that way. I don't know. We'll see. In the end, I mean, I know where I'm going. I'm saying I'm out. I mean, I don't care what he does. I hope they fall apart. I hope no one's even heard of D&D in 20 years except us.
There's going to be a video in the there's going to be a link in the video show notes, or the video description in the show notes, from a channel called D&D Shorts.
Yeah,
and goes into some depth through leaks that he got from insiders over at Wizards of the Coast. Many of us here don't really care about Wizards of the Coast, but it does introduce some interesting wrinkles. I heard names I didn't hear before, and some things I didn't know before. It's an interesting listen, though. There's one part of it where he talks about how sad it is for these folks to work there because of the work conditions they have. And I mean, it could be, but he gets it all from, people saying, not him observing what the work environment is. And it's a bit subjective. And I don't really, part of me doesn't care, because work is work. I mean, it'd be nice if you worked for Wizards of the Coast, if you had a neat gaming environment, but we've heard that that's not necessarily the case. Mm-hmm. But a job is a job. Sometimes you just got to put your head down and do your work and draw your pay, even if it's not that great, until you can find something better. But when you hear folks of our current generation talk about what they think about work, especially this viral video that went through at least Twitter, where this lady was lamenting having to work 8 hours a day. I mean,
Oh my
heaven forbid.
No.
People talking about how, I mean, it's a Marxist type of thought pattern where people complain about even having a boss and being told what to do for their work instead of, them trying to do it themselves somehow. I don't know how that would work, but so self-reports about the work environment there and how somebody treated them is very subjective. So
Right.
that part of D&D Shorts video, I just kind of took with a grain of salt. I don't really. It's if you work in a place that is a bad work environment, you leave.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else, even if you have to take a cut and pay.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Well, I understand. Eric Dragon tries to expand upon his idea. He says, WoTC 1E was an FU to 8. I think he means an FU to OD&D. That I probably agree with. WoTC 2E to their 1E, maybe. WoTC 3E, aka 5E, was an FU to 4. 3E was before 4. I don't think that was an FU. People just didn't like it. Some people didn't like it. Now WoTC D and Done is FU to not just 5E, but the entire industry. I agree with that part. I'm not sure I'll take that on 3E. 5E, maybe. I don't think it was an FU. I think 4E screwed itself by being a crap game. That's my opinion. L was trying to help me out with something. I think the OGC. He says, I will try to explain better for Randy. If I made, use small words, it helps. If I made federated role-playing entertainment dungeons 10 years ago, I guess that's a thing, Fred, okay, and created OGC, open game time for Jeff to use in his jovial adventure conquest kingdoms. Jack, all right, gotcha, I'm following. The idea is that Fred, being OGL, means it disappears when OGL disappears, so Jack can no longer legally use the open game contact from Fred. WoTC has no legal right to the open game contact in Fred or Jack. Does that help? Yeah, I got you. It's gonna have a cascading effect. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I think we already knew that.
No, but that's cool. He was helping me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it could. I don't think it's a done deal. I don't think it's a slam dunk in their favor.
No, but
how it will be a slam dunk in their favor is if everybody takes the I don't want to get into lawfare with Wizards of the Coast mindset, and nobody maintains their spine. If everybody caves, then sure, Wizards of the Coast will come out on top. Or if they find friendly judges and the judges rule in their favor, then they can also come out on top. But they can only sue so many people.
Yeah.
At any one time. They can't. If 50, I think it wouldn't take that many people simultaneously making product that Wizards of the Coast might be able to, harass them about for them to exhaust their coffers, or just to say, yeah, it's just too much for us to deal with.
Maybe. Elle had a comment about your job thing. I don't think Joe's saying this. He says not everyone can drive a mall truck, Joe. I don't know what you mean. I assume
mail truck.
Mail truck. Jobs aren't easy to just get more of in 40+ year high inflation. That's not wrong. And right, but
so
yeah, you got to do what. Sometimes you got to suffer for your principles.
Yeah, I'm not saying they quit today and then look for a job.
No.
See, that is a very silly deflection. If you don't like your current, you can, instead of whining about it, or maybe in addition to whining about it, look at doing something else. You could even become an entrepreneur and do your own thing. People do it all the time. It's not a lot of times people have to take like I said, a pay cut initially to see something long term that's better for them, and it still may not work.
And you
Nothing's
may not be
guaranteed.
able to do it initially. You may have to make plans and do it, but it should be on your list if your job is that bad. I complain about my job, but it's not bad enough. I can see a window of time when I retire now. I can see the end, and so I'm just going to suck it up unless it gets a lot worse.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Errant Dragon. Whether we're going to go back and forth about 3rd edition, 5th edition doesn't matter. He says, I just want to make s'mores on the burning ashes of WoTC's corpse. I'm with you, dude. I'll bring the marshmallows.
Yes, L, you can blackpill all you want. It ain't going to work on me.
What's that?
Oh, he says, not since COVID, Joe. ESG has F the world. Blah, blah, blah.
You can still get jobs.
I'm crying big tears. Wah.
Yep. It's true. It's just a scale.
There are lots of success stories if you can find them. Not everyone will have them. It is not that bleak.
No. I see lots of jobs actually all over the place. You have lots of options. But the inflation does blow. I'll give you
It's
that.
way better. I'm not saying be naive and ignorant of the way the world works, but if you're just going to say, oh, woe is me, and be an Eeyore, that doesn't help anything.
Yeah.
At least try to, gird your loins and stick your chest out and make it happen.
Dude, Plady, that may be my job after I retire. The corners in Philly are always looking for new talent. Oh, okay. Yeah. T-shirted, that would be the dream, dude. I want to see Hasbro sell to someone else. I'm not sure which company would buy it, but someone would end and likely do a better job. I can't imagine them doing a worse job, at least not initially. They could. I mean, it could if it went to who's the guy that does Fate? Evil Hat. If it went to them, yeah, it would be trash. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion. So and truth. All right, but yeah, I mean, go ahead.
There's been plenty of people say that Hasbro doesn't sell IPs, so we'll see if that pans out.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think there's a lot of videos out there. Your opinion, Joe? Do you think we just drop it and stop talking about it and do our own thing?
No. We keep our ears to the ground, and new developments we can talk about and stuff like that. But I think gloom and doom is bad.
Yeah.
I would rather talk about positive.
But I think
positive being there's tons of games out there that we can talk about and play that have nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast. And we can talk about things folks could do. Grim, who we had on last week, just linked to me his draft 1.0 of a public open D&D body of work.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to it's over at Postmortem Studios, postmortemstudios.wordpress.com. You should be able to find it, but I'll put a link out in the show notes right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and we'll be so that's a new thing. Grim was talking about it last week.
Cool.
And he's got his draft version out. Draft version 1.0.
Right on. Go get him, Grim.
OGL Reaper.
Yeah, be looking for Patty's game. He's going to have a game on BGE soon. He's got a chalk scenario and then a skirmish game. All right, do it, dude. Buy games from other people. Play games from other people. Yep.
Oh, and Patty, there is a new, I meant to put up a link, but I got my teeth worked on, so I forgot to do it. If you go to the help section of Big Geek Emporium, there will be a link to a PDF on instructions on putting up a product, whether PDF or POD.
Cool.
And thanks to David Guile.
All right.
So I will make a broader announcement later on.
Yeah. T-shirt said earlier, I'm a Mexican. I know I can always get work doing landscaping and selling oranges.
Yeah, and because you're not a kid, you can sell oranges and not get bothered by the police.
Oh, if you're a kid and you sell oranges, you get in trouble. Is that a
Orange.
story?
Well, okay, it was lemonade.
Okay.
Some
What?
police. Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't recent. It was like last summer or the summer before. There was a story about some kid's lemonade stand getting, you know,
You got a license for this?
essentially.
Really?
I mean, it's just stupid.
Dude, cop, you got something else. You got to have something better to do.
We kids used to sell mud pies, just for jokes and laughs and stuff like that. But I mean, in lemonade stands and other stuff like that, nobody bothered us because we weren't hurting anybody.
You weren't making any money anyway.
No.
Money, come on now.
How dare you go buy Country Time lemonade and resell it on the street like a thug?
Oh, they did. Matt Barninger confirms the cops shut it down because they had no permit.
Hey, Matt, how are you doing? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And this whole that's what's dumb about this other thing, license thing. We don't need licenses to make creations like role-playing games.
Pause. I got to stop Green Apple. He says, I'll have to check out Fatal. No, don't, actually. If you haven't, don't. That's the worst plan ever. Do not check out Fatal. It's horrific. So, black market lemonade, baby.
Yeah.
Barniger, right on, dude. Yeah, black market lemonade. That's kind I want. That's the only kind I drink now is black market.
Right.
Oh, dude. Okay. Why don't we put this on hiatus? Darth said, I assume you mean Shadiversity, did a video.
Oh, hey, Darth. Thank you very much. That's been out for a while, I thought.
They were releasing a TTRPG of their own for use. I told them they should put it on your site. Cool. Hopefully they will. I think they've had an RPG, haven't they? Is this the same one they've had for a while?
Yeah, it's a few years.
Is it OGL?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll keep talking about it. Period. I mean, there's no way we can dodge this. And actually, I don't think I fully want to. I understand the frustration, though. Yes, correct, Patrick.
Oh, Fatal? Is he talking about Fatal here?
You read it? You read part of it, Joe?
No.
It's terrifying, dude.
So Patrick here says, for those who are listening and not watching, no, even reading that gave me the ickies.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they have like a free version?
Dude, you can go online and read Fatal.
Oh, okay.
Do not. What's Cogent RPG? Someone said that before.
Oh, Cogent. He's talking about Cogent. That's Shadiversity's thing. He didn't like Shadiversity's either.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That's Shadiversity, right, Patrick?
Sure.
I remember reading the rules and it wasn't really, wasn't my cup of tea. Somebody's going to like them, though.
Okay.
I mean, I can say that about a lot of things that are on Big Geek Emporium that are not for me. Who cares?
Right.
Somebody's going to buy them and enjoy them. So we're good.
Yeah. So fear not or fear. We're going to keep talking about this crap as it comes up. We have a couple of links.
It's pertinent. It's maybe not something not doom and gloom point of view, but just pertinent to our hobby.
Yeah, I'm finding that I like Professor Dungeon Master. The Dungeon Delver is right on top of things. D&D Shorts I think he said he's kind of stopping for a while, but I think didn't he get accused this week, the D&D Shorts guy, of like spreading misinformation?
Oh, if it doesn't suit a particular person's narrative, of course they're going to call it misinformation. And D&D Shorts is not on our side of the ideological fence by any means. By any stretch, even though he has a fantastic beard, it does not make a difference. He's probably, it seems, a lefty, or maybe he's a more middle of the road guy. It's hard to tell. But it doesn't really matter. He put out some interesting information, so head on over there and take a look at it. Give it a thumbs up because he's not trying to be disingenuous or anything like that. Also, check out the Dungeon Delver if you haven't already.
Yep.
I'm going to put his channel, a link to his channel, in my video description.
Oh.
It's mine. Mine. No, in the description for the episode, I'll have the Dungeon Delver linked.
Yeah, I don't know who she is, but L's right. He mentioned Linda. Gonna let her sort it out in the future. And she just interviewed OGL stuff with Critical Role. Yeah.
Linda, who? Over at Wizards of the Coast, Linda? Linda? I don't know. I don't know who Linda is.
Yeah. Bruce, what is he saying here? I hope you guys get lots of hate clicks from people like me who absolutely want big corporate gaming to go up like a Wendy's in Kenosha or my DM screen at an Antifa meeting. So are you saying you don't want us to talk about it? You hope I don't know what that means, but it sounds funny.
Sounds funny.
Hopefully get hate clicks like him. You hate us, Bruce? I thought you loved us.
Oh, that Linda. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, typically Gizmodo articles are trash.
Pretty much always.
So I still haven't read any articles from her, so I don't know if they're any better.
She might be better. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I like to see what Critical Role folks have to say. Be interesting, but I got a feeling they probably be pretty vanilla. They'll be careful. So.
Right.
All right. Well, let me shut this discussion down. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it, man. But move on to something else. Like, I don't know, this dungeon topic we've been trying to get to for a while.
Hold on, Speedy.
No.
Speedy.
Okay,
slow your roll. We got time. I know we're both old, so you want to hurry up and get things done. But, dude, we got to tell people to subscribe.
Look at Joe.
Subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Follow us on your podcatcher that you're listening to if you're listening to us after the fact somehow. Head on over to Big Geek Emporium. You can support us that way as well. Pick up some of our latest stuff. The Red Room has a new product. Oh, look at that.
Sweet.
Big Geek Emporium. You still don't know how to model for a camera.
I don't. I just like moving it around.
Yeah, you do.
Big Geek Emporium.
Pick up our merch. All right. Urinalist.
Here's the difference in the 15 ounce and the other one. Oh, let me see if I can get it up here. Ooh.
Oh, so Bruce was complaining that it was only 11 to 15 ounce mugs.
Not bad, dude.
Well, I found a different source for mugs that go up to 30 ounce for hot stuff. I believe. Hopefully soon I will have more options. If there are merch items that you guys out there want, please say so in the video comments after we're done. That way it'll be easier for me to go see them. You can comment here too. It's just not quite as easy as looking in the comments for the video instead of the live comments.
Yeah. Patrick says he's waiting on his WoTC Tears mugs. I just got mine. All three of mine showed up today. So I will be at some point in time. This will be a prize I will give away probably sometime soon. Maybe after today's contest, we'll do a different one and I'll give away the mug. So.
I double ordered. What did I double order? A book.
You did? 2 books? Oh, good.
So one of those will end up in the giveaway.
Excellent.
But yes, if there is a merch item that we don't have, we only have t-shirts and mugs. So there's lots of stuff out there. Then it'd be great if you could WoTC Tears labeled condoms. Yeah. I don't think you'll see that on our site. But yeah, I'm looking at trying to figure out how to do. See, right now we got print on demand merch as well as print on demand books. That way we don't have to hold or worry about shipping merchandise, having an inventory. If we can find a print on demand printer for D6s, then that would be great. Or somebody that can just let us hook in somehow programmatically, and they can handle the inventory and shipping, and then we can just handle telling you about it and collecting monies.
Yeah, Patty's got a good idea. BG on one side and a sword on the 6th. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That's a good idea.
I do have access to somebody who wants to. That would be interesting.
What's
Put
that?
the OGL 0.1A on the shirt itself. That's
Yeah,
actually an interesting idea.
that is an idea, L. Well done, sir. Who else? Someone else. Oh, Mar Hockman said, does it have color changing paint for distinguishing temperature? That would be cool. I'm sure it doesn't. This thing, I don't.
No, not those. However, this
Ooh.
new supply, I've got a line on someone who on a supply of mugs that will change color.
Right on. L just gave us an idea though. BG logo on the front, OGL 1 point. That would be actually cool. That would be cool. Games your own way, dude. Do it. Screw WoTC. Did I say that yet today? Because I do feel that way.
I will look into that.
Very nice. I'm gonna write it down because that's Randy's job. Not to do anything, just to write stuff down.
Just to write stuff. All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, now you may commence.
Finally, no. This is literally our fourth attempt to try to do this. So, and I've messed around with the title, and I've gone with. We're going to talk about what do we want from a dungeon, because you guys know Joe and I are working on the Dungeon23 thing, which we are unfortunately behind, but that's going to change this weekend. I expect to do a lot. Just as a comment, Joe, what you sent me, is it okay if I fill up those rooms? Do you not mind, or were you planning on filling them up?
Oh, I was saying knock yourself out.
Okay, cool. So we've already got, Joe has designed 24 rooms drawn.
So we are caught up technically.
Right. We have the rooms, and Joe's like, this is here, this is here, this is here, but not much detail. Of course, Randy can't just say that because he can't control his fat mouth. So I have to get very effusive. And my 5 or 6 rooms are pretty well detailed when you say Joe. Maybe more than the intention. But
I think it's the intention of Dungeon23 is a spur to your creativity. So however detailed we make it is how we make it.
Oh God, t-shirt. I gotta pause. This is funny. He said, sorry. T-shirt historian, watch the undergarments, perfect to poop in. Poop is funny. So
yeah, someone mentioned diapers.
Yeah, Fleddy said diapers. That would be cool. He said it'd be really cool. Patty said to get some of the popular creators on BGE. Yeah, that would be cool to have if they wanted to have a part of that and take a cut. But we got a lot to work on before we can go down that road, I think.
Well, it's complicated. So the print on demand thing is tied directly to Big Geek Emporium and kind of bypasses the multi-vendor thing. However, there's probably a way to do it. Yeah. I'm not sure how, but we can try to figure it out. But like Randy said, he's written it down, right? Randy?
What? Yes. Sorry, I'm reading comments. I'm totally am I doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Are we podcasting now?
Yeah. We're live, dude. We're live.
Okay. I'm reading some stuff and thinking out loud. Sorry. I have the 1.0 written down. Was it something else, Joe? I'm sorry. My head's up my butt.
As far as the other creators having merch of their own on the site. Okay. Yes. We did invite Ironcaster. He was enthusiastic, but there was no definite plans.
It's not set in stone yet. So we have some room this year, so we can invite him. Patty asked about, man, there should be a big Geek Emporium convention or gaming lodge would be sweet. That would be cool if somebody for Biggest Geekers would get his head out of his butt and make that happen, because I've already got an okay. I just haven't finalized it. I think I need to get that done.
If we could get Big Geek Emporium big enough, or the convention is super successful, we could, a gaming lodge.
Ooh, that would be cool. A lodge. Yeah.
That can't cost that much, really.
No, surely selling cups will have enough money to buy a lodge.
The last cup mug I sold on there, I made 90 cents.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's mainly because the service has some issues as far as how it does shipping and stuff. So I'm switching to somebody else.
About 100 million more, and we're in the money. We're loaded.
Any day now.
Any day now. Okay, so we're working on 23. Just in general, let's talk about dungeons in general.
Yeah, Ironcaster didn't say anything definite, Patrick.
He is interested, and we'll figure it out if it can happen. So, yeah, that might be true. If you run it at a church, it should be tax-free.
As a church, yeah.
But I'm not sure I could charge anything for it, and that's a lot of work for nothing. So, yeah. Log.
Well, tax-free doesn't mean you don't collect money.
Oh, okay. Log. Loyal Order of Geekus. Chairman is the biggest geek. That's good, Al. That's good. Dude. Oh my gosh. He said like a gaming getaway versus a con. That's
what we do, and we call it a con, but that's what we do. It's a gaming getaway.
He's saying maybe that's how we should begin the first big geek con. Do it that style. Would people be interested in going to a place? I mean, we got an in on a place but I don't know. We couldn't house all. I mean, I know all our boys up here would be interested, and then if we got all of them and all of you, it'd have to be pretty. If we got a third of you, it'd be pretty big. It could be fun.
Right.
So anyway, all right. Yeah.
Have we ever figured out max for all the cabins being full up? 35.
35 is a super tight fit.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're at, I think 28's a comfortable. Everybody's got a bed. The futons are used, and there we go. That's where we're at.
She doesn't like having campers and stuff like that out there.
No, so we couldn't really have. I don't think if all our homies came and
we'd have to have a different venue.
And a handful of people here came, say, we got 50 people, it's out. If we got 40 people, you're out. So yeah, we needed a bigger place, but it would be. So
fun. The way we would need to do it is find out interest, get a rough number, and then find a location where we could do this instead of the con thing, or in addition to.
I'm going to look at it. I've got like I said, I've got an in for the con. I've got to get my what is that website? David Guy hooked me up to Tabletop Events. Randy's been a little intimidated. They asked for some things.
Oh, I was supposed to help you out with that, wasn't I?
Yeah, but hey, life gets in the way. So who knows? I mean, if it was more like a cabin con, I've had, God, this is going to be 17 years. We're going to do that. But if it just got bigger, I could probably handle it. But we'll see. What is it? Bruce says it's not a real Michigan adventure unless you roadkill 2 deer and a bar full of drunken men low on Coors ask the whereabouts of the deer. How did you know, dude? It's like you've been here. So, all right. So let's try to do the topic now. If we can.
Yeah, topic.
This topic needs to get done because I don't want to copy and paste again for the 5th time. So we'll talk about Dungeon23 as we go, but when you think about making a dungeon, and I know you're not a DM a lot, I love the concept of a mega dungeon. I don't recall having a great time running mega dungeons. I think I should, but Joe, the last 15 years, how long are my dungeons generally?
A few rooms.
Right. They're never more. If they're more than 15, it's miraculous.
You've done one mega dungeon.
I have.
The River of Fire.
Yep.
And that was it.
That was the early days. We're talking
early
about
days.
like 13, 14. Now, I did run during the 7 Spheres. Do you recall? I call it my magnum opus. I guess you didn't think when you went to that dungeon. Remember when you guys fought the demon golem that was crazy and thought he was Orcus? Remember that? And you guys were high level. When you came into a room, he looked kind of like Orcus. He was a demonic golem, and he really went nuts. And he thought he was actually. I do too. I love the idea of them, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know what it is. I never totally enjoy it, but I mapped out a pretty huge dungeon, 4 or 5 levels. Maybe that's not mega. It seemed mega to me with multiple rooms. And we played through most of it. And you guys are pretty high level. You were in the teens. And it was a super plane. Well, 13 days was high level, plane spanning. World spanning. There were no planes anymore. But anyway, whenever you think dungeon, and do you automatically go to a mega dungeon, or do you think more self-contained, 1 level, maybe 2 levels, not too big?
Well, I mean, dungeons can be either or. Mega dungeon is its own thing.
I agree. So I guess when
I say mega dungeon, it needs to have lots of stuff in it.
Yeah. as it, because you're what, 95% player probably. So if I'm saying we're going to do a dungeon adventure, are you hoping it's a big one? Are you hoping, man, I hope it's small and then we do more stuff outside?
It doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to you? Yeah.
Not really. Whatever it is, I'll enjoy it. Most likely, when we're all down at the table, it doesn't matter whether you've made a humongous dungeon or a dungeon with just a few rooms. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I like mega dungeons, but I like either. So I don't think I'm pulled in one direction in favor of the other. Yes.
Does mega dungeon equals more loots? Yeah.
No.
No.
Not with Randy.
Well, I don't believe in treasure. I don't know if I told you guys that. Legion of Myth. Look what he said. He forgot today.
Whoops.
Can't believe you forgot today was Tuesday. Man.
He probably has trained himself Tuesday. Biggest geekus. It just blotted his mind out about Tuesday.
Make sure I'm busy. Yeah. Okay, so what about so to you it's whatever, Dungeon to Dungeon, whatever it is. And L even makes a comment. He says, don't overthink it earlier than dungeon is a location for adventure. I think that is true. We're trying to focus on the idea of stone walls essentially and go down into the ground, basically. It could be more exotic into a mountain or whatever. What about monster placement? Well, I mean, we use Joe. I think Joe is almost. Are you almost religious? You're almost religiously. Am I right? Using the dungeons central casting for the.
I started out that way. There's a portion of it. Let me find the actual map. So I have a PDF version of it.
Show it to him.
It's essentially just a scan. I drew it out on graph paper, so it's all angles, all straight lines and angles, straight-ish. It's me. And there's only a few places where I'm not using the graph part of the paper to help me make the rooms.
I'm weird because I used to love drawing dungeons when I was young, even as crappy as I was at it. Yeah, that's a game I need to pick up. Axe, Jack the 71. Axe has some excellently done mega dungeons. I believe you, and I think they have advantages. I like the idea of in a mega dungeon. I like the idea of factions, which I'm going to add to ours. I'm going to talk to Joe about it. I got a faction idea, and holy cow, no shit, Darth. I ran the world's largest dungeon. It took me almost 3 years for 3.5. After that, my group avoided dungeons for almost 6 months. We did have fun. Oh, wow.
Okay, and I drew, this is pencil. This is not made with a computer. It's just drawn by hand. So keep your laughing to yourself.
I think you did a nice job, actually. Yeah, no respawning, L. That's not how I roll. I'm just talking about monsters in general. We need a thing. Look at that. That ain't bad, dude. It's not bad. It's not fancy. I actually find that tedious right now. I was very thrilled when Joe sent that to me this week, and I got to look at it and said, "Oh, I can fill the rooms. That's not the problem."
You drawing them?
I just don't care for it. I don't care for it.
So this big room here with the 4 rooms inside of it, but they're not inside; they're below it, is an arena. And then, so I know this is an arena. This room here. Oh yeah, you can't see that arena very well. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. There you go. Yeah,
that's the guy with the 2 rooms on one end. That's from the bottom. Yeah.
So this the cursor's going around the 4. This is a guard room, but this squiggly line area goes underneath, and then in this area with the 4 rooms to the north and south, the 2 rooms north, 2 rooms south, that's underneath the arena some amount. I just didn't want to make all of this dotted with lines.
And I feel we have about half of it filled already. Patrick, thank God, is drawing my dungeon, and I think I told him if I didn't, I'm not expanding it. I'm going with what I have. It's going to be smallish, but but I'm glad he just decided to do that. I appreciate it, Patrick. He said he's drawing it. He's trying to. I don't want to give it away. We'll just let Patrick work on it. So
Yeah, this area here with all the rooms kind of close together, that hopefully you can see the cursor going around. This is where, like, the captain of the arena, whatever that means, I haven't even discerned. It just came to me, captain of the arena, and that's his title. Its title. Don't even know what the captain is. It lives with some retainers and some other guards and other, and basically an entourage of whatever size. Didn't determine that either. So Randy can run with that too. And there's this part was made in conjunction with
Dungeon,
central casting.
Yeah,
where this is called the I can't remember now, living quarters, something like that. And you have a certain number. You roll randomly how many rooms, and I rolled 13. So that took up a huge chunk of the 24 rooms that we needed to have. So I figured just use them.
Yeah.
And either they're going to be what they were intended to be, as in there's a couple of retainers, some more guards, there's a library, an art room, a reading room, a sitting room, a dining room, and a few other things. Or they can be like they used to be that, but now there's something else because other things have moved in. Who knows? But that's the starting point.
Dar says he loves drawing maps, and I really appreciated Joe doing that. I have a hard time billing them. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I can get inspired by a map. I mean, the Dungeon of the Mad God. Joe knows my first 5 rooms there. I went pretty crazy with some stuff.
Right.
And we want this dungeon to be. This is not for first level characters. This is for, and again, I'm just using D&D nomenclature, but I think we're going to start low to mid level. So probably in the 6th, 7th, 8th level range. This is going to be a pretty deadly dungeon, and we're going to have. I mean, right off the bat, I have some encounters that are definitely not for. Joe was a little kinder with his encounters. Mine are not. They're not for low level characters. And even if some are for any level characters, I do have some challenges, and that's fun. There will be Martinson. He said, at Joe, is there a pooping room? He would not put it in there, but Randy will.
They're all pooping rooms if you want them to be.
When you run into my room, you will be pooping. So, because it will be bad. Joe knows what it's made of. So, but yeah, with monster placement, when I first look at a dungeon, I don't think monster. I think having a theme, even though I think our theme was easy for inspiration. When you said Mad God, I thought chaos. And so I thought, man, I can do about whatever I want. Now, it can't, not that it can't. I'm not inclined for it to be just total crazy town. You go into this room, it's 12 orcs. You go into that room, it's 5 dragons. You go into that room, it's a demon. You go into that room, it's a princess sitting there waiting to be rescued. I mean, some of that might fit at some point. It could, but I got to have a theme, or I will do like Darth does. I'll sit there and stare at it.
Right.
Tragedy at Tygon's Falls, the adventure that I'm working on, it is a very small dungeon, but the adventure is more than the dungeon. Just because I had to initially draw it, and Patrick can verify that it was a crap job, because I said, this is just a quick outline, and David Gall was like, could you give me some scale? And I'm like, I guess I could, but I didn't really think about it. But then I did. I mean, I kind of had some good description there, I think. I'm excited to see what Patrick does with it. I'm excited to see what Patrick and David tell me about the adventure, and what I can change, because I really want to get that done. I've been kind of waiting for their replies before I did the monster stats. But I am kind of, I kind of need that theme. What about you, Joe? If you're writing yours, do you have to start with a theme?
I can start from a lot of different directions. I can just start drawing, and then the theme comes.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a theme. The problem is I think of a lot of different themes, and then because I don't write them down, because I'm just out about walking around,
yeah,
I often forget them. So
yeah.
I don't even know if they're good. I just think about them. Oh, okay. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. He just Patrick said he didn't say it was crap. He said he's merely interpreting as he goes. Yeah, he's trying to figure out what the hell is Randy drawing here? You can tell who the artist guy and who is not the artist guy. So Patrick, I'm sure he's already showed me some of it. It looks nice. So I'm not adding Patrick, so you're safe, dude. It's exactly that slop I handed you is the slop that's going to be there. So read the room descriptions. It might be better.
So I'm putting in private chat for Randy the name of a monster, not a common monster.
Juicy.
That I was listening and watching a YouTube video, and the fella said this. I'm like, oh, I'm stealing that. And I said, thank you in the comments.
Yeah.
Because that would be an interesting thing.
Hungar, how you doing, man? Are you out of the hospital, or are you still there? Have you heard yet, Joe? Hungar, are you doing okay, buddy? I'm glad you're listening.
Hey, Hungar, everybody go see Hungar in his channel. If you haven't already, I know most of you probably have already, but
yeah, Patty agrees with me. He likes to start with a theme. I need something. If I'm going to fill a room if I'm going to take a blank dungeon, which Bruce suggested that I use some kind of premier game that I remember gaming. He said you should check out Gaming Papers pre-made dungeons. Yeah, those would help me a lot. Also, just straight up stealing, straight up just taking a module and saying that's a cool dungeon. I can do. I've done that forever.
Good deal. We are all glad that you are home and feeling well.
What health to you, sir? Hope it continues to go well.
I had my own health scare today. I had my teeth out at the dentist.
That's scary.
I know that your health scare and that is probably right on par, right? No.
Yeah, I had a health scare when I put an extra 20 pounds on the bench this morning and said that's not a good plan, so I took it off. I was scared.
Scared. Scared.
I was scared. So we're obviously in Dungeon23, we are mapping the dungeon, kind of do it every day sort of thing. If we're just using it, making it just for ourselves, you would probably are you a broad strokes kind of guy, or would you key every room?
More of a broad strokes. I probably would just have a random encounter chart and have a few of the rooms with some definites, but that's about it.
I'll say this, but I don't think I fully mean it, because I really appreciate that. I've watched Joe essentially do that. He does a pretty good job. I hate that. And what I mean by that is
it's not for everybody.
No, it's not because I think it sucks. It's because I like a theme. I like a plan. I like to know what I have. Now, I won't keep you on the rails, but trust me, the rails are so fun. You're going to want to stay on them, but you don't have to. But I hate unprepared is hard for me. So, I'm the key. I mean, you saw the 5 rooms I did. It was like I wrote a paper for each room, but I like to have more. Now, I do find that I got to be careful with my flavor text. The more I write, the less I remember. That's weird.
Oh, well,
whenever I'm running the adventure.
Oh.
Whereas if I go off the cuff with my dungeon, like you, broad strokes, I might get inspired and describe something cool. Then I have the problem usually I'm a pretty good note taker, and I'll remember, oh, that's what I told them, so that I can come back. If you come back, I can remember it. But some
of the old philosophers decried written language because it made people lazy in their minds.
I think they have a point. Patty says, I think it depends on the purpose, like a specific big bad guy going to get a specific set of rooms with specific encounters. The others you can wing. So
yeah. So especially if the theme is, hey, you're chasing down bandits and this is a bandit hideout, you're going to have your bandits in there and the bandit king and bandit loot. If they were halfway competent bandits, they would have some, and perhaps other goods that they've traded for, or prisoners. There's all kinds of nifty things you could have in there in that kind of setup. And there probably wouldn't be too much random.
Yeah.
In the setup like that. Unless you wanted to have like an area that they kind of say barricaded because there was something dangerous down there that they didn't want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could use that as a stepping off point for another
Yeah.
for a deeper dive underground.
Or
But
if you're not ready, you could go old school and say the dungeon walls start to fade away. I did that back in the day. You're
or
going the
you
wrong way.
could do other things. It's caved in. You can't go that way.
Mm-hmm. Now I do when the players go off the rails. Patty's got a good point. Off the cuff, the party's doing a favor for a town, etc. I'll be happy to do a random chart, couple of rooms to create tension. Yeah, I mean that's cool. A lot of times, the players will go off the beaten path, and sometimes I'll distract them with an encounter real quick, and that gives me time to think about what's interesting. And I love this is getting a little bit off topic, but I like listening to my players. If they start wondering, oh man, I wonder what's in that castle, which I never had any plans for them to go to yet, and they go, I bet it's this, and I'll be like, yeah, you just figured it out. That's what it is, because I'm totally winging this crap. But yeah, with dungeons, I like to be prepared, mainly because it's a confined space, and if I just wing things, I might get. I think maybe Mark made the comment, if you roll randomly, you might get the aboleth sitting in the
Well, it's not. I would make the random chart. So, and so there would be a theme within the chart.
I see.
So it's not like you just grab whatever random chart and whatever it says you use, like a
No, that I can do. I mean, that's I'm going to pimp out Mad Scribe Games. Issue number 1 is coming out within, I think. I don't want to misspeak, but please go check out the Patreon of Chris Sims' Mad Scribe Games. Patty's going to be a part of it. He did, I think, a cartoon. David Gall did an adventure. I've got an article, strangely enough, on random encounters, which I don't think I like, but I do like the way Joe's talking. If I prepare them, I like them. And I've got a significant number of them in my adventure. And it's going to be on EG, I hope, by the end of the next month. So you won't write flavor text ever?
Some. Keywords, I think for me is better, but mainly because that's me. Man, a few words. I mean, off the cuff. If I know a lot about a thing, then I can talk for a while about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to write something down about it, I'm going to put bullet points.
Yeah.
Because even bullet points can serve as flavor text. I mean, you can put flavor or whatever keyword you want to use for that in the description of the room, and then put 1, 2, 3 bullet points: spider webs, mold, debris, and then you can riff on that.
Yeah. Patty agrees. He likes writing flavor text. This is good advice from Venger. Crimson Dragon Slayer, which is Venger Satanis, is one of his RPG based, I think, on 3rd edition or 5th edition. Supposedly says anything the players' paranoid ideations have a 2 in 6 chance of being true. Yeah, I would say I just decide. I don't even roll. I say, oh, that sounds good. That's what it's going to be. We've had some good adventures, especially back in the old days, where really, my players were like, man, that was a great adventure. And I was thinking, dude, you guys wrote it for me.
Shoot the rocks.
Shoot the rubble.
Shoot the rubble. There's nothing in the rubble. There is now.
Yeah. Do you think it's important? I know we're working on just building the dungeon, but if you're using it in your game, you got to think a little bit about how do dungeons fit in your world, or do you just prefer to say, they are what they are?
It depends on what you do. I mean, do you write a college level dissertation on the subject, or do you think about the things that could be and then pick one? That's probably better on some level. How much time do you want to spend? How much time do you want to spend haranguing your brain over why a dungeon exists? So if you like them, use them and explain them in some way. Don't worry about too deeply about whether it's logical or whatever, because we all know that multi-level dungeons don't make a lot of sense,
right?
Unless they are leftovers from perhaps mining.
Yeah.
It's a natural cavern system that's been exploited by either monsters or people to some degree, but constructed by digging out and doing. What do you do with the stuff you've dug out? Which is mostly rock. I mean, we have dwarves in a lot of these games, so you could just say, it's what dwarves do.
Yeah, I enjoy thinking about that stuff because I'm a game master and I like the idea of world building, but I've absolutely come to that side of the argument. I don't think it's necessary. It's a conceit of the game. Um, Bruce says his players hate box text. They hate it when I start a game and have made decisions for them for the hours of behavior before the dungeon happened. Fair enough. I think even when I run modules, my players, I think I don't think that people, you probably think I don't even read box text, but I do, but I put it in my own words.
Yeah. It depends. You never, or almost never couch it in such a way that it feels like you've played our characters for us on some level.
No.
And this is more like flavor text before you get going, not flavor text of a room, like describing the room or describing your surroundings, the environment. But box text as far as last time on Big Geek Adventures, you guys did blah. And then in the intervening space, this is what happened.
Right.
And you got people who will say, oh, but I wanted to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that David Guile hit me with on my adventure. I was kind of assuming a lot or just giving the players a one starting point. And so I have different ways the DM, I give them 2 or 3 ideas to start the players in the adventure and say, if you have something else to do with it what you will. I do. This is a great idea. I don't know if I've ever run this. Mr. Max Balvin says sunken cities. That's a great concept for a dungeon, whether it's sunken in the ground, right? Or whether it's in the water. Yeah, I've always thought that's a cool way to do it. I don't disagree with Bruce here. What do you think of this? He says, I will say that you could make a series of videos about bad mega dungeons, and I'd offer up Undermountain as the flagship. I agree with you, but I wonder if it's for the same reasons. I thought it looked really cool when I bought it, and then I was like, holy cow, this is just running around and fighting stuff and randomly running into things. It doesn't seem to have much purpose.
Well, that it could seem that way for the one we're making too.
Yep.
Because of the chaos element.
Yep.
And the reason it is per se. So yeah, we need to know the specific reasons why you think it's bad.
So once we get the first level done, we're gonna put it up free. That's our plan on Big Geek Emporium. And then once we clean it up, and when I say clean it up, I don't know what Joe's thinking, but I'm gonna add some reasons. I'm gonna have a little story behind this thing.
Sure.
Should we decide to sell it, it's gonna be something more. So it won't just be, Undermountain came from Halaster. Halaster created Undermountain, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's all you get.
Is that the whole thing for the reasoning?
Well,
essentially,
that's the whole reason he made it.
And Halaster was some high-level wizard.
Yeah, I'm remembering probably the 2nd edition version of it, where it was like these huge maps and the rooms were super tiny, and I was really excited until I looked at it. It's just not my cup of tea. I was really pumped about it. I even owned the second one at one time. I don't know why I bought it. Probably because I bought everything that they made back then. So I can get caught into that. T-shirt. So I guess now here's interesting. T-shirt says, I will railroad players to get them where I want them. Example, the game I ran on my channel, all the characters started out in a heap of corpses after their caravan was attacked by bandits. I don't think that's as bad as it sounds to some people. Some people here might get their feelings hurt over that T-shirt.
I got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and if you're going to tell a story, unless you're running a full-blown campaign and these characters are in theory, they're open-ended, dude. We're going to start at first level, and we're going to play whatever we want. Yeah, you got to have some place to begin. I don't want to be, especially at a convention game. Look, if we have Big Geek Con, which I'm really hoping we do, whatever version of it is, you run at my game. Yeah, we're going to start at a place. It's going to have here's what you've done. Here's why you're here. You guys got 3 to 4 hours. You don't want to be.
See, convention, you can't help but do that.
Yeah.
And other specialty cases, like if you are running, I would say a good use case for railroading in this fashion is for an online actual play type thing. So if you're playing your game and you're playing it online, you don't want to hem and haw too much at the beginning. You want to get to where you're getting. And the only way you're going to do that is, a little bit of direction from the DM.
Do you think, I want to go back to 13 days. We've always had this discussion amongst our friends. In 13 days,
hold on a second.
Yeah. What's up?
This is a real place, Mar Hockman. Kuyu.
I don't know that.
I don't even know where that's at.
Yeah. Is that a place? I thought it sounds something.
He's saying down here that it's in real life. It's one of the few examples in real life of something dungeon-like. I'll have to look that up. Kuyu. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So what do you think of the living dungeon concept from 13th Age? We batted around the idea. So in 13 days, they have this concept of not all dungeons are living dungeons, but the magic of the creation of the dungeon actually animated it. It's a living construct, a construct of some sort.
It's like a god level mimic.
Yeah, kind of. And it will seek out creatures to quote unquote lure into its opening and then move. These living dungeons can move in the ground, and they don't leave it through magic. They don't leave a trail, and they'll open up periodically to collect people, and you can go in and you can collect treasures. And they even talk about, this is where it gets really fantastical. They talk about it having a heart of some sort, and that you could even kill it. What is it called? Eyes of the Stone Thief is their big mega living dungeon type adventure. Conceptually, I love the idea of possibly having one like that.
It's an aberration.
Yeah, it's a really crazy high-level wizard. He created the dungeon and imbued so much magic in the rooms that next thing you know, it became a sort of a consciousness of its own. It could have a purpose. I didn't like
a Tarrasque.
Yeah,
you have you have the Tarrasque in your world. You don't have many. That's weird because of its story. It lends itself to having it being unique. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that's the way it started out, being a unique being. But of course, because it was popular, people wanted more out of it, and they had to have the plane of existence where Tarrasques come from, because there's many of them. So
Tarrasque.
Yeah.
They're having a discussion about the tavern. I think T-shirt saying it can be overdone. L says is a town meeting place. I think if you're running a bog standard adventure game, there's nothing wrong with having the tavern being the place where you begin if you want to your campaign. I wouldn't want every adventure to end up being that. Oh, Bruce says he says, "What are you designing, Bruce?" He says, "A swarm of Tarrasques." Oh, dude, yeah. I have no problem with taverns either, Cal. He says they're cool with him.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
It's a thing. It's a D&D. It's a fantasy RPG thing. Even the Star Wars had it.
Yeah, I do like exciting starts. I agree with T-shirt. I like to put the party into jeopardy immediately. It forms bonds faster than getting to know you 101. It does, and I like the idea of start them in the middle of a fight. I've done that before. Roll initiative. What do you mean? Well, you're in round 2. Now, I've even been heavy-handed where I said take a D8 damage or 2D8 damage. And if I'm feeling really cruel, it was Joe's playing, I'll say take one of your spells off.
Yeah. You will. You will.
I will. I'm kind of a jerk like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, there's lots of ways you can start things off. Anyway, but the as far as dungeons go.
Yeah. So the living dungeon's a cool concept for a thing. I'm not opposed to having one in my world, I agree, but I wouldn't make it a big thing. Do dungeons outlive their usefulness? In a campaign. I'm talking about a campaign.
Oh, it could. It depends on your level. I think once you reach mid levels, dungeons become kind of at lower than mid level and lower. They can be an interesting way of keeping people going down a particular path because they don't have any choices. It's a big stone wall. You're not getting through it. You have to go around it or find a secret door, which might be difficult. But once you get to a certain level, you have magic and other things that you're at your in your arsenal that will make tromping through a dungeon to get to the main thing you're really looking for, trivial.
Yeah, the homebrew
could be trivial.
The homebrew dungeon I talked about, which I called my magnum opus, there was oh gosh, I forgot the name. Stone something. It was in the 7 spheres. It was one of the spheres. You guys went in there, and it was a massive cave complex with kind of an old dwarven keep inside of it. And you guys were like 12th, 13th level. And I remember thinking as I was building it was like, man, these guys can do so much stuff. You may remember that's the one where I had the banshee trap on the opening of the door. Remember that?
Yeah. Hold on a second. My wife is having some difficulties. I'll be right back.
So anyway, my thought was, at that point, guys, I was making that dungeon for 12th level characters, and I was like, man, at some point, I think that maybe dungeons the dwarf sphere. You're right, Martinson. The characters get so powerful. I think dungeons have to become exotic, and you got to take L's advice and just think of it as a set plates to play. Yes, Mar Hawkman, that is true. There can be 1,000 ways to die, and I don't shy away from that. But I don't try to just make it trap infested. I prefer to make my encounters really deadly, but not every single one. Though, to be fair, I'm sure those players that are here today that played in the 7 spheres would say you were gritting your teeth through many encounters. I mean, those players had to be on top of their game, and this was during the deep into the 3.5 era, so they were bringing the most impressive characters ever. So I had to ratchet it up a few notches. Sorry. I can see that Darth says Baba Yaga's Dancing Hut was a mega dungeon that was just chaos incarnate. I remember playing through part of it back in 95. Yeah, I think I bought it and never ran it. But I think it was probably pretty good. Yeah, I don't know, Martinson. He's referencing a home game, the last Scion of Tiamat. I don't think that encounter was in there. It might have been, though. If so, you guys were even higher level. I feel like you guys were only 12th or 13th at the time. You might have been more 14th or 15th. That campaign went into the high 20s, so it was a very high level campaign. There's sidetracking here. I thought Lanasa was part of that PSR. No, it's a different. He's a different dude. T-shirt's trying to turn things around on us. I was talking about the high level dungeon that I ran. I'm gonna star T-shirt's comment because that's a good one. It might be fun. We talked about stats and stuff. Oh boy. So I don't think I like. Well, I don't want to say that. I like central casting. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I think I like reading it more than using it.
It's at the very least, it's a mine for ideas. Yeah. So even if you don't use everything in it, you don't use the method of generation that they have, you can look through it and see, oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about with Dungeons? I don't know if I have much more to say. I know we're working on our Dungeon23. I like how it's going. I wish I had more time to talk about it.
I would say that late to the party. Yes, you are, Tim. But thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate that. I'm going to clean up the map, and I might separate things a little bit more. I constrain myself to one graph page, graphing paper page.
Yep.
And it made me kind of squish everything together when it may not need to. Mm-hmm. And I might switch it up a little bit so it'll look a little better.
Yeah. Bruce has a good question. At me, what was the best dungeon you ever ran? Oh, ran. I am not sure. I know I enjoyed what Joe referred to as the Sea of Fire, but that was the old days where just we didn't know what we were doing, and we loved every minute. I had the room with the King of the Wind elementals in it. So I don't know if that was the best. Joe, do you know? Can you think of a time that it was what you would call the best dungeon? Because it's hard for me. I would almost need my players to input that, unless you want what did I enjoy. I really enjoyed creating and running that 7 spheres when I was talking about for the high level guys. So,
Yeah, because this is the thing with me. You have had so many dungeons that have been fun. It's really hard to pick out a single one.
yeah.
And honestly, been in so many at this point, it's hard to think of anyone in particular, to be honest.
Right. It's hard. Good question. I know I enjoyed that one, Bruce, the one that I created for my 7 spheres game during 3.5. Elle asked another good question. Says, Randy, as a player, I asked, do you as a GM design the dungeons to fit the world or your player? That's a good question. I've done both in the past. Probably I tend more toward fitting the group. I still have a hard time, like, I'm not inclined to randomize my encounters in every single room. In every single room, but I'm also not beholden to CR anymore. I think it makes more sense to build it for your world, but if you have time to run an adventure, I assume you're going to want them to do something that makes sense for them sometimes. So, yeah, it's a tough. I would say probably tend to focus more toward the group. I'm not going to just say, well, it makes sense for a dungeon here created by vampires to exist right here in this town. And so, oh, well, I guess that's the adventure we're doing because that makes sense. Now, could the players stumble upon something like that? Absolutely. But I don't think I would encourage them to go after that. But they can do whatever they want. No, I don't know. That might be a little harsh. So it's a video game with level appropriate areas? Nah, I wouldn't say that. I think it's more of a I think I try to get the game going for the players, and I don't want to just murder them right out the gate automatically. But I'm more than happy to sprinkle in rumors and things that if they take the bait and say, we're going to go do this. I got a group of characters one time. I remember they'd heard about a red dragon. They were like 2nd or 3rd level. They had a potion of healing amongst the whole party, and that was it. This was during the early 2nd edition days. And they heard rumors that, oh, it's a very small dragon. And another rumor said it murdered a whole caravan. And they just decided to go up in the mountains to mess with it. And they found it. And I killed them all. I mean, that's fine. No, I have not, Bruce. It says, have you run 2 groups in the same dungeon against each other? I have played in that before at Gen Con, but I've never ran it. Yeah. Shh, Tim Scott, don't tell them. I do want to murder them, but they're not supposed to believe that. The DM is for them. I want them to succeed.
He really just wants to murder the players, but he's going to settle for the characters.
Dude, God said I can't kill people, so I'm going to settle for the players. Yeah. Oh, what do you think of this, Joe? What do you think of multiple PCs per player style game in a dungeon, especially?
PCs?
You play 3, a fighter, a wizard, and a dwarf.
I say no. I just don't like that. We've done that, and it's just been kind of weird. I would say, and people do that for some reasons. Mainly, there's only a couple of players, and you need to have a number of PC level characters there instead of a PC or 2 and their retainers. It'll work out better.
Yeah.
But I don't like multiple PCs. It's just a little wonky. Yeah. It's better to just, if you only have a couple of players, then you run your game geared around them a little bit, no matter what Elle might think of that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Some people don't like that. Well,
but I don't mind. I don't mind teasing the danger, and if they want to jump into it, go ahead.
But if you do have just a couple of players, you're better off just letting them have hirelings. I know that the initial adventure they might need to have the money to hire people, but yeah, I just don't like players with multiple PCs all at the same time. I mean, having multiple PCs and then one of them dies, and then the next time you play another PC that you have made, that's one thing. Having a stable of PCs you can draw on in case somebody dies, that's one thing. Quite another thing to play multiple PCs.
You're saying old school Dark Sun style.
Right.
That's okay. Yeah.
Right.
L's got a good question. I think he thinks he's catching me in something, but I think he's trying to, but he's not. Should dungeons be left and returned to or completed in one visit? Do what you got to do, man.
Should? What do you mean by should?
To it. Whatever the players do. I don't have them on rails and say, don't worry, I'm going to hold your hand. You're only going to fight 2 orcs because you're only 2nd level. I don't do that. But I don't just randomly create rooms and encounters where you walk outside the town. Sorry about your luck. Looks like it's a beer. We're 3rd level. Yeah, I know. Roll initiative. I mean, it could be on the list, but I'm not just going to say, well, I rolled this once and that's what it is. Especially if it doesn't make sense where I rolled it at. It'd be kind of weird, And
I know you like to if we aren't able to clear a dungeon, let's say, in one scene or one play session, or we get the crap kicked out of us and we are low on hit points and everything else, we have to leave. Situation in the dungeon changes. It doesn't just sit there waiting for us in stasis until we get back. Things change, and that's a good way to do it too. Everybody's different, though. You play the way you want to. We're not going to tell you how.
Heck no. Yeah, I agree with Darth. I have found that most, not all players cannot keep the character sheet separate or know the characters well enough. That's true.
You can't really. I challenge anyone to honestly play multiple characters differently when you're, at the same time. I mean, you might be able to switch into different funny voices or whatever, but nah.
Bruce says he'd like to see me having a good time. I think he'd laugh at me is what he's saying. He'd like to see me having a good time. I like to see myself having. We need to. That T-shirt says we need to play a game with him. I agree. We do. Gosh, so much good stuff. So, man.
We've played lots of different ways over the years. Lots of different types of lots of different play styles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost all of it was fun. So,
yeah.
I mean, saying one is superior to another one is kind of weird.
Depends on how you float your boat. Whatever floats your boat. If you want to make your adventures all level appropriate, and never more than 2 CRs above the player characters, do what you want, man. And if you want to say wing it, sorry, it's a dangerous world outside your door, Mr. Frodo. Then whatever, dude. I mean, do it. And I like a little mix of both. I don't fret about CR. I mean, that I ran an adventure where they were 1st level and they ran into 2 ogres. Yeah. So, what? I don't think I need to do that, Patrick. I think that's a bad plan. I need to lay with T-shirt historian.
I mean, if we get enough people, we might have to share bunks, but
no, but that's about as far as it goes, dude. I draw the line there. I think he means play. Sorry.
I have a sleeping bag where I can zip it up coffin style. So,
oh boy, we gotta be careful. Patrick says the easy way to get the guys to play in your game, come to Cabin Con. Truth. Oh. Right, T-shirt. What's he trying to do to us, bro?
Oh, did he have a typo? He must have had a typo up there.
No, not Patrick.
No, T-shirted.
Oh. No, I don't think so. Did he?
He might have. I'm not going to look.
I'm going to go back. I'm not going to look. It was fun, though. Yes. I need to also get Bruce in a game. We would have too much fun. Yeah. Bruce says, never make the adventures level appropriate. Make them potentially lethal or just put down the pencil and graph paper. You're hardcore, brother. You're hardcore.
Yeah. Not all the... I think there needs to be highs and lows. Some encounters are tough, some are not.
Who's this Randy Nichols guy? He started it all. We do need to lay together. Sunday afternoon could work, but I've got to play games with a lot. That does not sound good at all. Okay, so I started. Fair enough.
So it was your typo?
Yeah, I started the whole dang thing.
Typo.
Guilty.
We'll call it a typo. We'll maintain
Typo.
that.
Discord t-shirt. No, man. Oh, goodness. Oh, he's talking about DCC now. You are vindicated, Patrick. That's correct. It was not you. It was me.
That's funny.
He's an English major. I'm a math dude. Forgive me. I can find the limit as X approaches.
Yeah. Dungeons are not everybody's taste. Lots of people like having everything be wilderness and town encounters and outdoors and no dungeons. And that's something we went through a phase where we hadn't actually been in a dungeon in forever.
No, you commented that even not too long ago. I think we need to add it. L says next week BGE adds the dating app to the site, apparently.
All you need to do, what was it? Just to have a LARP.
What's that?
Apparently LARPs are meat markets. So
okay.
Schedule some LARPs.
Good. Yeah. They're talking about funnels. That's fun too. But as far as the dungeon goes, I guess for me, I want this to be somewhat old school in feel. It's going to be. I mean, that's how we do. It's going to be old school and feel, this Dungeon23. And I want it to be a mega dungeon. I really do. I don't want to lose steam. John at the Red Dice Diaries is talking about, he's afraid he was losing steam, so he's trying to do a little bit at a time. And I'm having some gaps because that's how Randy does. He doesn't do a little bit every day. He does a bunch at one time and then quits, and a bunch at one time and then quits.
Well, that's also it's also better to do it that way because of the way life works. It's hard to things get in the way of dungeon prep. So if you're so married to doing a dungeon every day, there's going to be days you're not going to, and if you can't figure out a way to do multiple rooms in a day, then you're never going to be caught up.
Yeah.
Yes, Malachi.
He's looking for love, not meat.
But is it really love you're looking for? You could even say that you are looking for meat from a particular point of view.
We've done that, Martinson. He said LARP at CabinCon would be a message market.
I don't know.
You have to clarify, dude. You're a massage market. Okay. Massage. Yeah, I believe that's Bruce is helping him out there. We're all got some typos today. Yeah, no, we're not going to do any topless. Oh, because Raggy goes shirtless. CabinCon needs a shake up. Invite James Raggy to run some topless.
It's usually not that hot the time of the year that we are at CabinCon. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah,
where we're like, oh, I want to make sure I can bring my shorts, and sometimes it's just
bring shorts in the jacket.
Snowing and crap.
Yeah, that one year we had all the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy down. Anything else you want to say about dungeons? I mean, I'm just excited about working on it. I think when we're done, if we get to the stats, it'll probably be choose your own stats. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're good on dungeons. We can actually look at that stats question from T-shirted, and we can get that going.
Yeah. I think some folks
pad us out till 2 hours and then call it a night.
Well, we've got to do. You still got to do the giveaway.
Oh, we got a contest to do.
You want to try to tackle the stats thing? That could be big. They've done some talking about it.
Well, I forgot about us having the contest thing.
Yeah, I'll say this T-shirt. I'm more of a fan of random rolling for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, what about Big Geek Land? I got nothing to report on Big Geek Con nor my adventure. It's
okay. Big Geek Emporium is going through a little bit of growing pains. Some changes are coming. Maybe you've noticed that the site is a little sluggish, and maybe you noticed that the site is a little faster over the last day. That's because there was a backup protocol that was put in place by I don't know who, whether it was standard or whether I selected something and didn't know what I was doing. That could very well be the case. It was making backups without a scheduled backup removal. So the hard drive was full of backups and almost nothing else. And it was about ready to overwrite itself with the backup. So we had to delete all of the backups. Are you going?
Almost.
We do not need to see Randy's chesticles here.
Oh, Mr. Van said I forgot I'd promised to do that. I don't remember if I promised it or not, but I couldn't do it. I was scared. But yeah, we had to we deleted all the backups, and we're going to put in a more sane backup plan. So hopefully that improves site performance somewhat. Like I mentioned earlier, we want to expand the merch line, so we have extra stuff there. I'm going to add a tapestry because I want one myself, and it would be cool to have one available to those who would like to put our logo on their wall. Anytime you want to suggest items for our merch line, that's great. You can put it here in the video comments after we're done, or you can contact me directly either on Discord or on Twitter. Either way is fine. I will. Even if it's just one for you, it doesn't take hardly anything to add a thing if it's available in the catalog of the print on demand service. Documentation is up, like I mentioned earlier, for Patty. It's in our what is it called? Got too many things for my brain to remember. Yeah, and I'm just looking at all the comments. I mean, almost pulling my shirt off.
Yeah, it's in our help/contact link at the top of the website. You click on that, and on that page there will be a documentation heading and a link underneath, and you will see you will have a PDF loaded up in your browser showing you how to put products up on our site. Right. So there's that. Come on now. Where are you at? I lost my page.
Okay.
Yes, here we go.
Gotcha.
The software we are using for the vendor, multi-vendor part of our site does not work very well. It works, it functions, but for it to do anything interesting, it takes it either is not possible at all, or it takes so much work it's almost not worth it. So I'm considering switching up, and may see a change in that way, and the site appearance itself hopefully will be upgraded soon. So
right. All right. I'm assuming we didn't get any emails or anything we need to talk about this week.
Oh, we do have a voicemail.
Oh, sweet. Let's do a voicemail. I haven't done one of those.
We have a voicemail. Haven't had one in a while.
Someone wants to tell us something, probably that we're whinging too much.
No.
Oh, good.
It's a question.
Ooh, une question.
From John over at the Red Dice Diaries. You mentioned him earlier.
The man, the myth, the legend. We need to get him on the show. And T-shirt again, too.
Let me do. Present screen.
Present John.
Let's see. Oh, where's the sound bit? They changed it. Okay, tell me if you can hear it.
I cannot.
You can?
I can't hear you. Is it an anchor call?
Yeah. Did you yes or no?
No. Play it again. See if I can hear it.
Could you hear it?
No. Bruce says
Okay.
enhance.
Yeah.
They changed some things around.
Well, there used to be a little button
No button
that says, "Hey, do you want the sound to play?"
Dang.
And now the button is not there.
Oh. Well, that's what you loved about Anchor.
Yeah. Anchor. Well, this is an Anchor. This is StreamYard.
Oh, StreamYard. Oh, how do people call us now? Do they not call us through Anchor? I just told Patty it was Anchor.
No. Okay. Anchor is the way they call in, but StreamYard is how we're sharing it, and then and everybody can hear it.
Martin says it's super low, so he can hear it. Is he like behind you?
Yeah, he's right behind me. It's probably picking up from my
right,
because my speaker is really close to my noggin here.
He's got a sweet headphone. If he's hearing that, I'm hearing nothing, but I'm old, so he's a little younger.
All right, I do not know.
I cannot do that. Biggest geekest mechanical pencil guy, because I break them, Bruce. I cannot use mechanical pencils.
I just got a box of number 2 mechanical pencils, and if they don't break very much, then maybe that, but not
I use the standard pencils.
Yeah. Well, those are number 2.
But they're not mechanical.
No, but they're number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
Yes. So I think the reason that the mechanical pencils break always on me is it's 0.7 or 0.5. I mean 0.7 or smaller, and number 2s are thicker lead.
Al was full of good ideas, or full of it tonight. He said Randy should change his name to Boomer and to match Joe as Geezer, the biggest geezer. Boomer Geeger.
Oh.
Boomer Geezer. Oh, man. Do it. Let's hear it. Go, John, go. Talk to us.
Okay, it's not
Dang it.
playing the freaking sound.
Oh, man, John, we're sorry. I want to know what you asked. Have you listened to it? Do you know what he asked us? Could you?
Yes, the basic gist is have we looked into Hyperborea 3rd edition?
Yes, but I've not read it yet. I've taken the book and looked into it, but I've yet to read it. I need to. It looks cool. Especially, that reminds me. I got an email because, me and what's his name? Jeff Delaney, and the guy that wrote it, we're like super buds and stuff. So he keeps me on top of things. But he sent me an email, and he's talking about the OGL, how he's sounds like he is not in any way, shape, or form planning on signing up for that gobbledygook. So he doesn't know what that means for Hyperborea, which is sad. He may have, and he just released the 3rd edition, so that kind of sucks.
Well, I bought it because anything that they're going to do as a business needs money. So I just bought the 3rd edition hardcover. I'd had a PDF for a while now.
Yeah,
just to lend them some support. Legion, since you're here, everybody should go see the Legitimus channel if you haven't already. Most of you probably have. You use StreamYard a lot too. They have switched up their role here, and there's not that checkbox to play audio.
Yeah, when
you share a screen anymore. Is there a workaround? Is there a thing there that you do you know how that it works now? Because we hadn't played one in so long. That feature change was kind of missed by us.
He's checking for us.
He's checking.
This is the Hyperborea 3rd edition. This is the player's manual. Did you get just the player's manual?
Yeah.
And I love the art. It's got a little DCC flair to it, not quite as crazy.
Oh yeah, I forgot Bruce does too. Duh. Yeah. I could have asked him all. Well, it just now
yeah
was a problem. But that's cool. Yeah. So I have the PDF. I don't have the hardcover yet, but very soon. I hope.
This is I believe, Hyperborea. Is it a 1E or an original edition clone? Or, OSR based off 1E?
It's OSR.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is a Hyperborea OSR for sure. For sure. You can get it from Northwind Adventures, Mr. Charles Mortimer Norris III. Where do you get it? Northwind Adventures is the company. Jeffrey Talanian is the dude that does it. It's a very nice, beautiful book. Feels fabulous. Got a lot of old school love. Humans only, I believe, is the default setting. And the book feels great in your hands. It's just wonderful. And it's got a great berserker rule. Somebody here told me about that for my barbarian OSC. So,
okay, let's try this again.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Okay. Yes, well, I'm not using Chrome, so I don't have a Chrome tab selection there, Mr. Legion of Myth Max. Dang it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so it's something I'm going to have to figure out in the intervening space here. Sorry about that. But we both have one or more versions of that third edition, either PDF or hardcover, and we should dig into it and give our opinion soon.
Yeah. Gosh, man, we got so much we need to play. Dungeons and Delvers, and what else is on the list? Troll Lords and all that stuff, man. L asked one last question, a technical one. You can't share from Linux?
He says maybe can't.
Just wondering.
So it's possible. It's Linux, not it's not Windows, so things are working differently apparently. There might be a setting I need to fiddle with here, and all that.
X is saying, something about Chrome. I don't use Chrome. Brave is what he uses. Firefox, maybe.
Yeah, mine doesn't say any tab. Well, actually, I pulled it up in Firefox, so I can maybe pull it up in. Oh, then I'll have to freaking log in.
Are you still using Linux, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Max Balvan was wondering. So yes, Joe is still using Linux. Randy is using an Apple product. Feels very bad and feels very bad about that.
No, you don't.
Not at all, actually. I like the fact that it just works most of the time. So,
yeah, this just works most of the time too. Just these weird exceptions.
Oh, Mr. Balvan's internet's dying. No, don't let it. Save it. Give it a heal potion. That's what I say. Yeah. I know. You should listen to John Allen Large on his podcast on Anchor. Actually, he's on. What's he on? He's not. Is he on Anchor? You can catch him on.
No, he was. He has a place on Anchor still.
But Red Dice Diaries, very good podcast. Man, it's very cool. Have him on. He's across the pond like Grim.
Okay. We will push this off to next week.
Okay, but John, we do play. We'll try to play that for you, but we apologize. All right. Shall we wrap this up with the double whammy giveaway?
Yes. Let's do the giveaway thing.
Don't make any guesses yet. Make one guess. Your first guess will count. The giveaway today is for not one, but two possible prizes. I will send them both in the mail. Either the Steve Jackson Games Heroes Castles, the Keep in the Shrink. So you build your own little castle in case you want to see that a little closer. And either that one or Star Wars Edge of the Empire beta test. Legends and Lairs Mythic Races D20 for 3.0 from also Fantasy Flight. Hardback from the 3.0 era. And then the current print Monsters and Treasures for Castles and Crusades, because I purchased myself another one. And I will give away two of these. And all you have to do is, without going over, and if there's ties, we'll roll off. I'll let Joe. You have access to a die, don't you, Joe, somewhere?
I do. Somewhere.
Just in case.
Yes, I do. Right here.
Without going over, we're going to choose the person that's under. You're supposed to guess the number of official. Now, let me finish. Don't guess yet. You wait till we say start. Joe's going to say start. So the number of official 3.5 books that I have. That includes modules, right? Paper or hardbacks. But they have to be official 3.5, not 3.0, and not Dungeon Magazine. For you, Cal, I would. He said he thought Randy was going to deliver them shirtless. Plan to. Right to your house. So anyway, you have to guess the number of, just like we did with Planescape a few weeks before, the number of 3.5 books that I have, official WoTC, hard to get that out of my mouth, books that I have, and it's between 2 and 1,000. So people are doing it already. And so, Joe.
People don't know how to follow instructions.
That's all right. That's our people, though, man.
Yeah, that's fine. Now that
yes,
folks have gone, you may go.
Yes. All right. We got 0. We got 11. We got 38. We got 69. We got 20. We got 23. $42. Keep guessing. 37. Then Scott says 53. Flady says 47.
I just started a 1-minute timer, so we have slightly less than a minute to get your vote in.
Yeah. Don't be bashful. Take a guess. Between 2 and 1,000.
Martinson has no comment.
That's good.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, people. Who wants to win this sweet pile of goodness? I think the guess is maybe
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. All right.
All right. I think we have a winner. The closest without going over, I believe, is this one. Did you find him?
I don't know the number.
Oh, I thought I had it on there. Okay. Then I didn't know the number.
Oh, yes, you did put it. You did put it on there.
In the notes. It's okay. I don't see anyone that's closer. Double check for me.
All right. Let me go up to the top of the guesses here. Started with Legion of Myth. Premature start.
But he also double zeroed at the end. He said it's like 2 without the 2. 0 is my favorite number. So
okay. 00 is 0. There's that. Okay. Mr. Norris. That's the one I saw that was the closest.
that's the dude. He's
Chuck.
The winner. Chuck, you're in, dude.
Chuck Norris, the third.
That was not correct. There was 28 of them. So I have 28. I used to have more, but I got rid of some of those not too long ago. But yes, I have 28 of these bad boys, and he's the closest without going over. Very good. Send us an email to, what is it? The Geeks at biggestgeekestpodcast.com. Joe can forward that to me, and I will send you your loot. But you need to tell us what you want. Do you want the sweet monsters and treasures, Castle and Crusades, Mythic Races, Edge of the Empire by Fantasy Flight, or Cardboard Heroes, Castles?
And that decision can be in the email.
Yes,
you don't have to make that decision right now.
Right. Correct.
The Geeks at biggestgeekspodcast.com.
That's correct. That's correct.
Congratulations, Mr. Norris,
yes,
on your win.
Well done. Mr. Norris is not part of our group here. So we're not cheating, Malachi. Yeah. We'll have another one soon, though, CBK Ply. He was lucky. There will be more. I'm trying to think of something more interesting than just guessing. We'll figure something out. So
Yeah.
congrats to the winner. Good job. Yep. All right. Shall we get out of here, bud?
Yes.
If you'd like to support our show, please like, subscribe, and share us wherever you're listening or viewing. Hold on. What is that? That would be good if we could figure this out. We should have YouTube Shorts. I agree. That would be good. So anyway, check us out on the socials, videos, podcast places. Cash support at PayPal, Streamlabs, Anchor, and Ko-Fi.
Yes.
Always pause on that. Our website is, of course, www.biggestgeekestpodcast.com. More importantly, biggeekemporium.com. Check out the cool stuff there.
And you can support our community more than us at Big Geek Emporium by buying products, because we're not taking a cut right now.
Yeah, dude, don't forget that. Yeah, what a deal. So anyway, I think that's about it, man. Do the things, like, subscribe, share. Thanks for showing up tonight. You guys were quite fun to chat about. Under 60 seconds auto shorts. Yeah, I know, but I think we're having issues posting them, right, Joe?
Well, I had an issue trying to post yours when you sent it to me. So
I did do a short, but Joe said no. I'm dumb.
It's too short.
It's too short to be short. Okay, I'll work on it. All right, man. All right. You ready?
I am.
To scoot. Well, guys, thank you. Have a good night. Thanks so much. This is Randy.
And this is Joe.
And remember, you can't be big like us, then be geeks like us.